we're joined by Bobby Kennedy, candidate for mayor.
Thanks for having me again, Kent.
Yeah, we've had you on here before. So that people understand your background a bit, you run a skateboard shop in town?
Yeah, since 2010, me and my brother have been the owners of a store called the Bakery Board Shop. We started up in the Rutland area. We were there for about 4 years, and we've been downtown for the last 4.
And there was a phase where you were selling cannabis.
Yeah, in December 2017, after the city elected to shut down all the other dispensaries, we stepped up to the plate to help serve the people, and in doing so, we helped many people, recreational and medicinally, and we also use that to conduct a political science experiment to gain real numbers and real facts about this industry and types of revenue coming in, types of products being used, and most of all the types of clientele that are using it.
And you were drawing the attention ultimately of bylaw officials about what you were doing?
We were actually trying to draw the attention to everybody about what
Right.
we were doing. We were using this as very much as how they've used marijuana as a gateway drug over the years, that we were using it as a gateway issue.
Okay, so the fact that you were sort of in trouble was really part of the plan?
Yeah, and as I've mentioned before, there's different degrees of trouble, and
Yeah.
and we knew what the end result was going into this, and we were offered a deal by the city, shut down, and you very much could become a dispensary.
Right.
We weren't in the business of being a dispensary. I'm from Kelowna, born here in 1985. I have a network in this business because of my network that's in this valley. So
Right.
we chose to use what we had in our back pocket to be able to help the people, and also challenge City Hall on to show people how much time, energy, money is wasted on battling these things when they should have been working with guys like Bob Kay from Be Kind. He's a pioneer in this industry for 10 years. You think he doesn't know what he's doing? He absolutely does. But right now, the city of Kelowna doesn't know what they're doing. So we wanted to show the people that, and like we use this as a gateway issue.
Right.
In our platform, we plan to use this as a gateway solution. We have a lot of plans to generate a ton of revenue for this city off of this new multi-billion-dollar industry.
So this is the part where you're going to tell me that you would propose, on top of whatever provincial taxes would be associated with buying cannabis, that there be an added municipal tax as well.
Yeah, we very much plan to implement a thing we call the City Cannabis Sales Tax, or CST. We've done a lot of research on this matter. The states is a prime example of the people benefiting from this industry. We have California, Nevada, Colorado, Washington, and Oregon. I like to look to Oregon because they have a 0% sales tax across the state on all purchased goods, with the exception of cannabis coming in at a 20% sales tax. So they're absolute proof that you can increase the tax as much as 20% and have zero effect on the purchasing, zero effect on the businesses, and a maximum effect on the state, on the revenue that they were able to collect and distribute accordingly. They give 40% to the school boards, 20% to drug alcohol counseling programs. They get given an additional, I think, 15% to the state police, and then there's so on. So as a city, we would have the same opportunity to come up with our own breakdown of the numbers. So if we introduced on the low side of a 3% CST, that would round us up to a total of 15% tax collected per recreational sale, and we could go as high as 8%, which would bring us up to a 20%.
And you don't think that if you were to add that additional tax, that people would sort of be priced out of the official market and be driven to just go buy it on some black market source somewhere else?
Absolutely not. If you look at just a $10 sale, 12% tax is going to bring you to $11.20. If you had a 3% increase on that, that's $11.50. I don't think that the end consumer is really going to notice.
Right.
As well as when people know that they are part of a positive process that's creating change, creating benefits, and really just making the city that they're purchasing in or living in better, it alleviates any negativity.
That's always a
surrounding it.
tough sale for, telling anybody they're going to pay another tax. There's always going to be some people that,
You know how much money it costs to park at the airport? There's an additional tax. There's an additional hotel
but yet
tax.
I still fly.
Still you fly. Still, if you want to park your car, you park your car. Like I said, we did a political science experiment, and we did it very well, and we have real numbers.
So
we didn't change the price of things. If you look at other dispensaries, some of them would have this one operating at this price, this is at this price. We did a $10 a gram across-the-board fee. That way we had real numbers, real facts, and I absolutely 100% believe that this is not only a gateway issue that we brought to light, it's a gateway solution for all the bigger issues. This is how we're going to get major revenue in order to fix all of these other things. It doesn't matter how great your plan is for something, if we don't have the money to implement it. Journey Home is an example. We're less than halfway there of reaching the necessary funding that they're trying to raise. So I can plan the best vacation in the world, but if I don't got the money to go on it, I'm not going.
So you've touched on the issue that practically every candidate is sort of hyper-focused on, and that's how we're going to deal with this problem with this entrenched homelessness that we see in certain parts of our downtown. So this fund you would create through taxing cannabis shops would partly fund that. Any other thoughts, though, on how that problem's been managed?
Yeah, the cannabis thing is just a tip of the iceberg. When it comes to the homelessness and the crime and stuff, people are very quick to point the finger that this is our leading problem, and it definitely is one of the major issues that we're facing. So far, our city has continued just to throw more police at it or more bylaws. I was doing an interview with another media outlet yesterday morning, and I was driving down Leon, and there was 2 different bylaw officers walking down the street gently kicking guys with their boots, telling them to move along. This is about 7 o'clock in the morning. So currently what we're doing is using tax dollars to pay for a very, very expensive alarm clock per se, and there's no solution or place for these people to go once they're woken up. So as far as I'm concerned, the solution is far more into prevention programs, working with things like the Foundry that just turned a year old the other day. They specialize in youth mental health and things like that. So for example, Lawrence and Leon are kind of what would be targeted as our problem areas. So one idea that directly gives back to tourism, the locals, our merchants, food vendors, entertainers would be to have things on Tuesdays and Thursday nights in the spring and summer that are night markets. These are very, very popular ideas that aren't brand new. You go to Oceanside, California, Palm Springs, as far as Lao, Luang Prabang over there. These are things that, especially in places that we have a very hot climate during the summer, a lot of people don't want to be out walking around during the day. So you introduce these things at nighttime. It would be a city-ran night market. We collect the fees off of the stalls. We get the revenue, and it also just gives the platform for everybody to go enjoy. Another thing on those same streets, a lot of the businesses in the evening that are plagued by this issue are primarily kind of like bars, nightclubs kind of thing. We could directly give back to them for all the years that they've put up with this type of stuff by allowing them to be the designated areas that you could serve alcohol so that you could still have social responsible drinking, and everybody just goes down, has a good time, and it's going to be generating a lot of revenue to put back into that problem area and gets people that are purposely staying away from there back into that area to show them, hey, we are safe. We do have a lot of good things going on.
You've got a lot of ideas. You haven't been on council yet. Are you ready to step in and be the figurehead of the city, to run meetings and whatnot?
100%. I have a very, very knowledgeable business background. I've mentioned too, I'm an expert in this cannabis field. I'm the only candidate that has the expert experience and network to actually bring this multi-billion-dollar industry to our town to maximize the opportunity that we have here. When you talk about things like the black market, or are people going to be priced out due to this tax? No. And how you alleviate the black market is by creating a platform for the black market to come to light on the white market. Our area of Kelowna just happens to be not just in this province that's the #1 cannabis producer globally. We are the central hub of production, and we have been for over 20 years. So the talent pool that resides in this town is so deep, it's ridiculous. So it's time that we actually provide a platform for these guys to be called what's called a micro producer, and it'd be very much like wineries and craft beer and things. So you don't have to have the hugest vineyard to be making the best wine in the world. You just have to have the biggest vineyard if you're trying to service the most people. So our area has so much talent that when we bring this micro-producing thing to light, it's going to take the black market, make it a white market, and further so create hundreds of jobs and also stimulate the economy in ways that you aren't thinking of, like real estate, tourism. Just like there's wine tours, there's going to be cannabis tours. There's going to be all sorts of things. So that's how you truly alleviate the black market, is to actually create a market for these guys to come to. If you think that these guys that are underground guys wouldn't love to make this money, put it in the bank, and be able to buy houses, boats, all these sorts of things, you're absolutely wrong.
We are in for some interesting times on that front for sure. Bobby Kennedy, candidate for mayor, thanks for coming in. And thank you for watching Kelowna Now.